after this matchup. So let's get into it, though, and focus up on this game as we see what the bans are. First off, Ying is going to be knocked out initially by FURIA. We'll see how well the removal of that execute works out here. Cyclops, of course, using that quite a bit in the previous matchup, I do believe, so wanting to trend towards that and eliminate her. And then meanwhile, Lion will be eliminated as well, giving a little bit of prowess to the defensive roam game here, and allowing them to be not locked down so easily when they are forced out of their initial bunker positions.
Yes, indeed. Skyscraper, a map that is still relatively new, so a lot of different ways you can potentially play this one out. These offensive bans are going to make it somewhat easier for the hard breach to actually get active on the map, so won't have to worry too much about that. The Kaid ban going to come through just to make sure that they do not have to bring Thatcher. Furia here will remove Mira as well, so fairly straightforward affair when it came to the bans, but now we get into the fun part. We actually have to play the map of Skyscraper.
Yeah, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Should be a fun time between both of these teams here. So both of them mainly just playing for kind of baiting each other inside of the group, like we said before, which would lead to potentially more SI points.
This is just going to be a fun game more
than
anything.
Pretty much.
And you can signify that by handy on dock right now.
Yeah, that can be signified again just by the very slight boost to SI points and or prize pool these teams may be able to get by outwitting each other inside of this matchup. But for the most part, it is going to be pretty scrimmy, I would imagine here, given that both teams can no longer change their fate. And important to note, too, that Furia is another one of our teams playing from Mexico City as well, so they are also going to be dealing with that inside of this matchup.
Yes, indeed. And also, if you guys didn't know, we have some amazing esports skins inside of the shop, inside of the game of Rainbow Six. Make sure you go and check out those and support your favorite esports teams, including the two teams you see on your screen at the moment. Cyclops and Furia both have a skin for their respective weapons, so go check it out so you can help these guys, well, with a lot of different things. Maybe car payment. I don't really know.
It's just very specific.
Well, you know, I was just thinking more in me. I was thinking very selfishly. You know? Anytime I think about anything, I'm like, oh, I got to pay for my car. Like,
we're going to see here STK.
Well, you don't have nearly as strong of hands as some of our other operators do there, Mozzie. So
I think you meant to pick a Rooney if you were trying to do this.
What a me. Oh, he fixes it. Oh, my goodness. All right, well, Black Ray will go down. STK will be able to secure that and believe, at least from what we heard, might be a potential rehost coming through here momentarily.
All right, yep, so we've confirmed it with our admin squad. As we just heard from production, this round is not going to count despite that kill coming in. The rehost call was made prior to that kill happening. We just did not see it in the chat. It was made out of game, so we are going to rehost that round real quick, guys. Apologies for the interruption. We'll be getting back in as soon as we possibly can.
Yes, indeed. So once we get back in, we'll more than likely have some extra things to talk about, because all we really saw was kind of the defensive setup and an initial spawn peek.
A little spawn peek there.
Yeah, a little spawn action. Maybe we'll actually grab a Rooney this time and make some bigger holes, but honestly, they probably weren't even going for that. It's probably just trying to find the proper area on the wall to actually line up that shot. So either way, though.
For those of you guys who missed changes over the past year or two now as well, it's important to note that if you were a viewer of Siege and you dropped off for some time, bullet holes are actually no longer really a thing. You do have to actually...
Oh, man, that's been gone for forever now.
Yeah, like I said, about a year, I think. Now. You actually do have to physically punch out a hole. You can no longer have these minuscule, tiny little peak holes anymore to play from, because they're just... We had a meta evolving around that, and it was... people were going a little crazy with it, so...
I don't know what you're talking about. I have never spawn killed somebody via a bullet hole in my life, John.
I was more referring to those setups where we would have have somebody prepare 30 of those at the beginning of a round.
You know what? I also would never do that on Coastline inside of Hookah Bar ever. Why would I want bullet holes everywhere, John? That clearly doesn't work.
Just have a checkerboard on a wall and be like, this doesn't look suspicious.
You have no idea the amount of times that in like a ranked game or something, I was able to just secure 4 kills standing in Hookah Bar because people swing like VIP or swing into Aqua, and you're just standing in this tiny little hole.
You were just being cruel to people who play on 720p because they couldn't even render the holes at that point. That's the situation you were in. So yeah, that got a little out of control.
I'm bullying the less fortunate because they can't see with their monitors.
And Ubisoft did end up nerfing that, guys. So no longer can you play like that. You do have to physically punch to actually make a hole now, which obviously is going to be a bit bigger here. So we've got all teams back in the server. Shouldn't be too much further of a delay here as we'll make our first attempt to get ourselves back in game.
Yes, indeed. We'll see if it works out. Fingers crossed after the day that you and I have had. We'll have to see what potentially happens with this. But Skyscraper yet again on the docket here, folks. It's going to be a pretty fun one, especially since John and I don't get to cast it all that often. We'll have to see what these two can potentially muster as well, as this is more or less going to just be for funsies and a couple of extra monies or maybe some SI points at the end of the day. So.
It's going to be the upstairs hold again here from Furia. They'll go right over to karaoke tea room. That is, generally speaking, still the go-to spot for a lot of teams, with Furia being no exception to that. Same operators, of course, will be locked in. We are still going to force our teams onto that, which should be interesting, too. I didn't notice if Gatorada actually ended up locking this in or not, or if he switched away before the repick phase had concluded. But we've got the Kali locked in, which is not an operator we see all that often. And even more interesting behind this is that we actually don't have Thatcher banned out, which is most of the time the only real situation where we would see Kali come into play.
Yeah, absolutely. And even then, we rarely see her, especially if a Maverick
I think we've seen her like one other time this tournament so far, at least for the two of us.
We literally have seen her a single pick this tournament, I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen another team that has had her in a lineup, so I may be wrong about that. We may have had an extra pick somewhere while John and I were casting.
Probably the game we weren't casting. Yeah, there was another one.
Exactly. Or we were casting and not able to watch another one or something along those lines. But either way, Furia will begin setting up this top floor. Almost done with it here. About 13 seconds remain before Cyclops can actually get out and about on the map. There's some rotation holes around what used to be gold, but I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head anymore. It used to be gold stairs. You have black stairs over on the other end there in the office as well, but I guess we're going to be figuring out along with you guys here for just a moment. But past that, Handy's going to be going for an aggressive peek out on the vents end, but nobody repelling up that side, so unfortunate enough for him, but he'll just skimper back off into drum.
Going to be working their way up to the top of the first rappel here, establishing Overwatch. Things will actually start out well here for Cyclops, as BlackRay able to line up the opening kill this time, catching the Mozzie, potentially in the same way as before.
Did he get shot by the...
Yeah, he didn't die to that somehow, so that had to have been a leg shot, I think, is the only way that that doesn't instantly kill you. So Rare will survive through a very lucky off-put shot there coming in from Gatorada.
I mean, imagine getting hit by a 308 round. Just be like, yeah, it's fine. It's, you know what? It's okay.
I can't move my right leg, but we're good.
No, my right leg doesn't exist anymore, but that's perfectly fine. No worries. And it's in. We'll begin clearing out the map with Monty. Not too much action on the main floor for him to really worry about. Everyone mostly upstairs at the current moment. BlackRay will be outside, as well as Fantasy trying to take a peek off the upstairs balcony-esque area. He's going to work his way down black stairs and won't be able to find too much as of right now. Gatorada taking a lot of damage, though, on the other end of the map. He's going to claim more of the window here for Terrace as Fantasy trying to chase down. No! Oh, my God.
All right.
Not like this.
All right, I know
he
what this
literally
game is
dashes and it drop shots with the Monty yet again. This is what I wanted to see the last game, but I get gifted it in the very first round of Skyscraper.
Beautifully done there. Cyclops holding on so far, 2-0 on opening kills here. STK and Fantasy both faltering. At least Fantasy faltering in kind of a funny way there. Gatorada step up to the plate next, potentially, as he might have had a challenger there at the window for a second, but I believe it was Rare. The inside engagement now having to back away from that. BlackRay will just continue to find impact, though, this time with the nades. He's able to line up a third kill against Furia. Cyclops going for, so far, a very clean game on the opener, but BlackRay not ready for the push.
No!
And
What?
Gets it on the Monty instead for the trade, leaving Rare alone in the 1v4 now. He's going to be able to walk right up, take down Anderton. Thankfully, he's not paying attention. And what's fun about this is, look, he's just dropped the case. So this is not entirely impossible right now for Rare, as he's going to try to clutch this out in a 1v3. We're seeing the shots come in as well for the 308 that Stokes mentioned before. The only sniper rifle in the game here for bolt action, but not going to be able to maintain. Suzu gets the kill at the end of the day, and Cyclops hold on to a very chaotic round.
Oh my God. Pengu, eat your heart out. I mean, best Monty of all time.
That drop shot, man.
Double drop shot, and that just proves that it's not a fluke. Like, he knows what he's doing when it comes to this operator. Incredible stuff out of Cyclops, and what a funny way to pick up a round.
I really appreciate the attempt to, like, storm the gates with the Oryx as well.
That
just run directly into him with it.
Just throws it out, dude. Like, what? I love that he heard the man running like into the room, and as soon as he locks eyes with him, he's like, I'm just gonna go lay down.
Back of his ear is like, that's a lot of bass all of a sudden.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Fun way to start this game. That will be a nice treat if the rest of the game plays out this way too, but we'll see if either team tries to go a bit more slowly with things. Cyclops not minding it either way, as it's fun for them too, as they'll now shift things downstairs in Furia's second hold.
I can almost tell you that at the tiredness that I'm at this current moment, that if the game continues to go this way, I will more than likely reach deliriousness at around round 5. I'll probably just be laughing and giggling, and John will have to take over the cast, and they'll just wheel me out on a gurney. So
thankfully, folks, I have Stokes' mute button right next to me. So
yeah, it's okay.
If things get out of hand, I'll take care of it.
Yeah, no worries. We can just put me in a body bag and just take me somewhere else. We'll surely get it fixed. But past that, though, Handy, he's going to hop out the window and look for this Vents peak yet again, this time on the Oryx instead of the Dock. And obviously, we will end up in very similar straits to what we saw in round 1.
Right, continuing Herrera, they're continuing to wait for his opportunity to impact just by one of the doorways, too, that has been pre-fired in. We do have on the pretty much other side of the map a few players from Cyclops working their way in through repels, or at least looking for options to do so. You can see a couple soft pings coming in to reflect that, but it's going to be STK starting things out well for himself there. The M590 pump making immediate impact at the run out. Oh no, but Rare, the pre-fire's in the wrong position. So BlackRay is able to spin back around and get the headshot and follow it up with one more on top of that, beautifully placed from BlackRay here. And now Cyclops is in control, bringing this down to a 4v3. Fantasy as well, reading the wrong side of this play, but he quickly corrects when iGator crosses to the other side, picking up the response kill to even us up again into a 3v3.
It's the wrong side of the tracks, boy, as he guns him down. 3 versus 3 now for Cyclops as well as FURIA. Andy trying to find some more action, but not able to find too much on the house side of the building. Fantasy, though, over near the restaurant booths, won't be able to get too much done. Just trying to fly around the map at the current moment and see where any of these Cyclops members actually are. But they're off to the 4 corners of the earth at the current moment. Zuzu's still on rappel as one swings in. Handy, he's just constantly, he's still outside.
So you guys want to play?
Handy, go home. Oh my God, he tries to shoot him through the flag. This is ridiculous. Handy, go back home. He's just running away.
BlackRay's trying to pre-fire through the metal wall.
Are we really? He actually has a gunfight now. He has to bounce back and forth. There's a potential for him to win this. BlackRay will eventually get it a triple kill for him, and they'll equalize yet again.
Well, this is going to be interesting to see how the rest of this game plays out. As we're down to just Fantasy and STK in the final minute of play here for round 2. And Furia, despite literally throwing everything and the kitchen sink at the members of Cyclops, they still kept this even at a 2v2. Cyclops having a little bit of trouble holding on to Fantasy! The pre-fire from him as he traces BlackRay's path across the opening. That's now going to put it down to a 1v2. Suzu with the first good pickup, though, trades out the frag right back onto Fantasy and leaves it all down to a 1v1 versus him and STK.
Suzu up against STK. The makeshift Rust moment here on Rainbow Six in between the two. Very minimal time, though, for a decisive victor. Case off in the distance, and Suzu, zero information as to where this player is. It's going to be a freebie for STK as he waits in the wings. It's going to be the kill and the defense picking up their first round.
STK getting a nice response going there for Fury. I'm not taking any risks on directly challenging his opponent. Just sits in a nice calm position in the depths of karaoke. Shuts it down.
That was
you didn't
so
even see that.
Gross.
I think with the spin around that we got right there. Great stuff from Cyclops. Just not enough to negotiate the win in this round. And that's despite the runouts and all that from Furia being deployed too, with relatively mixed results at the end of the day here. Not that they're going to be too worried about that at this point here. Looks like we are going to be heading back upstairs for Furia. Now that they've been able to lock things down on a different site, they'll head back to their initial pick here to see if they have better luck on the second try.
Okay mechanics, I sleep. Insane mechanics and team play, wide awake. That's just how it is. I see any 180 or anything, my heart is immediately just beating a million miles a minute. That's the beauty of esports there for you folks. And now as we're getting through this prep phase, it's 1-1 in between the two teams, each awarded a breadstick. The Olive Garden squads as they're trying to see who can potentially get that second round here. Furia is going to move it back to T-Room to see if they can find success here for the very first time.
Will be the attempt coming in from Furia, and quite a few pieces of utility changing out in order to enable it. The most notable one is going to be Rare, bringing the cap can back into the fold. We saw in just our last matchup how useful that cap can can be, more so for Cyclops, of course, but Furia can utilize it just as well, and Rare will attempt to do so inside of this run. Will he go for the same hop-outs, though, or is he finally going to cool off on that, as we've seen him attempt to do so for, I believe, 2 rounds in a row here. Not going to be flirting with it too much this time with the Vents play. He's instead going to stick back. He does have those 2 more EDDs to place down as well. And we'll put them on the inside of the office transition here.
before we get too deep into this, I just wanted to bring this up for you guys, just touching on some of the stories that we've seen here at the North American Major. North America's record at Charlotte is 18-4 with a plus 36 round differential. The second region, Latin America at 10-11 with plus 4. North America, stand up. I mean, my God, that is some crazy stats. But either way, back to Cyclops versus Furia here. I thought you'd like that. I thought that would be pretty interesting to talk about for a moment here before we got a little bit too deep.
I do want to wait until we see how the quarterfinals go to talk more about that. Like I said, I think that transition to best of 3 is going to separate the boys from the men, so to speak. We'll have to see who exactly continues to push their way forward. But regardless, you're correct. A very impressive run for the North American region. We'll have to see who else can still contend with the rest of those teams as we move further into the playoffs.
Well, I know I'm correct. I read it off of Wikipedia. How could I be wrong? Well, unless, they implemented the information incorrectly.
More just saying your point was correct.
Well, I want to fight, John. Let's fight in our relationship right now in front of everybody. I don't even like you that much. Just kidding. Obviously, I love John. He's an amazing human being, and he also makes me travel to really cool places and invites me really often. I should really start going more, but either way, though, really not too much happening inside of this round. This has been the slowest moving one that we've had so far in between these two, to the point where we really haven't had too much to talk about. Fantasy, like there for just a split second, but eventually is able to challenge the window like he wanted to. Still not able to get rid of anyone on Cyclops. Anaton dancing around the door here for the Dragon Statue Room. Nothing really to call back on just yet as we reached in the last minute.
Yeah, a bit more of a serious face being put on by both teams inside of this round. Nothing crazy being thrown at
either one of
them. What a catch from Black Ray, though, able to knock out the first player. Oh, some unfortunate timing as he nearly gets himself a second as well, but unscopes just as the player was ready to swing back out. He's having trouble following through, chasing that player down. The team still trying to make their transition over to the karaoke side of the map here, or from the entryway. That Gemini will pretty much immediately be denied. Good pre-fire from STK. Obviously would have hoped for that to have been the outright player on the other side, but not going to find him so easily. Black Ray finally gets an opportunity to throw the nade in. It'll take down the shield of STK, but as far as his body, it's still well unsecured. 3 more kills coming in for Furia. Anaton is left as the last player standing. And the Monty, unfortunately, not going to have much of a hope of clutching things out, especially when there's a pre-placed Nitro over your head. That'll end your life pretty quickly and lead us into another round for Furia.
I haven't seen a Monty die to a pre-placed Nitro cell above a door frame in years. That has not happened in such a very long time. But Furia, either way, will claim the last kill via that method and make it a 2-1 score line. Pretty fair, straightforward affair for both teams there. Cyclops just trying to work their way in from the house side of the map, trying to come in off of the offices and work their way into Dragon. See if they can claim Temple or Shrine, rather, but obviously not the case. Furia fending them off time and time again. Even with the deployable shield getting blown up, we still were able to see Furia secure a multitude of different kills, making it way too difficult for Cyclops to get much done. Past Anaton trying to peek some things out with Monty. Now into round 4, and we'll see if they want to switch gears, which seemingly they do. Gatorado will pick up the Thatcher, and now Dokkaebi coming in for Anaton.
And as we continue to look for Furia's prowess extending into this game further, Cyclops will look for a way to get revenge upon it. A few repicks are going to show up for them. See the Thatcher repick into a Finka, obviously starting off from Finka, so no real change-ups there, but the more notable one is going to be Anaton moving away. The team ditching Hard Breach for the most part, leaving Suzu, of course, with the Selma still to play towards, but Anaton will go over to the Dokkaebi, trying to play the intel game a little bit more here because of these direct contestations that Furia are constantly throwing at them. And okay, SDK back to the runouts in a different position this time around here. Trying to see if they can catch the initial movements from Cyclops, but once again, no dice on this hop out. So Cyclops will stay the full strength 5-player roster. The same can be said for Furia.
Get the bathroom window open here for Anaton. Some drones around the mid-floor, or rather the base floor here. There's only 2 floors exist on Skyscraper, although it is a skyscraper. But past that, though, CAG, they're just going to be rappelling over towards the east balcony at the current moment, one of the most hotly contested spots on the entirety of Skyscraper, not only on this version, but the old version as well. Have some Selma charges go down and start breaking up the single panel that's over towards the front desk office. So Gatorada now will rotate his way around. He's still got some EMPs in his pocket to be able to assist his teammates with getting rid of some of these hard-to-reach pieces of utility, but he's going to have to make sure that his hard breach is around before he applies this.
Continuing to tick down.
No, we're not going for the bandit trick here, are we?
Might as well, right?
I mean, I guess so.
And the problem is we do have a Thatcher on the other side of it, so this is going to be even more difficult now when that in consideration. We'll see how well this works out from Fantasy. He has a practice his tricking capability, but we do need to see as well Cyclops getting those Selmas into position to be deployed here. We're actually going for a bit of a run out there too, so trying to stop the Thatcher play entirely, but not work out just yet here. We're gonna have to find another way to adventure forward, and I get to see if this nade can get a kill going, but no, not the case. There's a little bit of damage going on a Miracle. It's Anaton that has better luck with that, finding STK as he gets the first kill against him.
Well, now, worse for wear, Furia. They've lost their initial member. Minute and 10 seconds remain for Cyclops to do something with that, though, as they're starting to work their way into the actual building at the current moment, but not before they deal some serious damage to Handy, who is now down to a bullet's worth of HP. Black Ray will get rid of not only the Banshee, but also attempts to spot his nade and see if he can find anybody else. Fantasy with one. Fantasy will get gunned down, though, as CAG able to reclaim here inside of service. End up putting a reclaimer here on the Selma breach, and we'll see if that ends up working out. Handy almost gets taken out by the Selma, actually, and it's going to be Suzu at the end of the day to claim that. A little sneaky angle, I think, being brought up by one of the Furia members. I think someone's laying under a desk somewhere right now. And yes, indeed, Rare is upstairs with a broken office chair.
Just pushing the bottom part of it around there as he crawls out.
I don't need these casters. Get him out of here.
Just making his way out there into the open.
There's 15 seconds remaining.
Yeah, where's Cyclops coming from here?
Where are we going,
They have
boys?
repositioned them from the looks of things as they've re-entered from a different part of the building, not really favoring that breach they had made prior.
Oh, well.
And those will wrap around it. Things will look pretty okay for them here.
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining. They've got the case down on the ground. Miracle does not have a way to directly contest against that plant. Cyclops even giving him a moment here as they actually get off the case for a second, so he hasn't confirmed it yet, but he won't even need to, as Anaton will lock down another kill here. I believe 2 on the round for him. Give the round over to Cyclops.
It's a dead heat, 2-2 in between these two squads. Round 5 now up and ready to be played. Well, it's been exactly really what you'd expect it to be in between these two. It's been kind of a clown fiesta, but it's been a whole heck of a lot of fun so far. So hopefully we can continue the escapades going forward. As of now, though, Anaton will be back onto the Dokkaebi. Cyclops making very good promise off of that utility inside of the last round, able to pick up quite a few bodies of Furia because of that. And now we'll see if they can accomplish the same thing on the kitchen site.
Go down, as Stokes mentioned, in the kitchen here. It's going to be a bit of a more of a straightforward defense for Furia. That's not to say that we won't see them extend out from it, though. This has been the case for the previous 2 rounds. The site positions itself directly below, of course, the karaoke and tea room sites directly above, which means we will see the usual extensions into that. Here's like Geisha and whatnot being played out by the Furia members to waste the time with Cyclops and prevent them from getting too much access on the top-down angles. You can see the reinforcements even echoing, of course, over onto the south balcony, just to deny that additional access in from the Geisha walls and slow down the play from Cyclops as much as possible. Here they come, though. They'll be spawning directly out onto the field with a very similar lineup to what we've seen in past rounds.
Here comes the boys as Cyclops are out on the field yet again. Seeing if they can potentially take the lead away from Furia, hop out here from STK, but obviously not finding too much. I don't exactly know what he was doing out there initially, but I have to see if they did anything to the balcony or anything along those lines. Fantasy trying to see if he can get a interesting kill here with the Deagle as he bounces back and forth off the angle, just applying bullets when needed. Somebody possibly steps up to the plate, but now Cyclops approach closer, he might have the opportunity arise quite soon.
Continuing to play out this aggression, and it works out beautifully. Catches Suzu just when he was starting to deploy in for the hard breach. That first Selma still going to go down, so they have that as a bit of a sigh of relief. But unfortunately, only a small breach made here. Thankfully, Black Ray able to make up for the deficit in player count at least. They'll have to do a bit more work, though, to bring back the utility deficit that they're now going to be at due to the loss of the hard breach.
Well, Cyclops have been able to at least procure that and get us onto equal footing. Able to do much past that, though. It's really been down to the drone game and seeing which part of the building they can actually get themselves into. All of this gunfights and as well as utility exchange has gone on the outside of the building so far. Black Ray with a good read as to what's going on inside of the bathroom. He knows that verticality is coming through on the top floor, but up to Rare now. He's going to try and swing the balcony. Could potentially see the other member move their way out. Don't believe you can shoot through that flag, because we saw someone earlier try and do exactly that. So actually stuck in between these two spots at the current moment. What a shot there from Rare as he'll gun down Gator. He knows that they're more than likely going to try and capitalize off the back of the Dokkaebi call, and it's ill-advised from Cyclops.
Excellently aligned pre-fire indeed from Rare to shut down another member of the Cyclops push here. Still, only a +1 advantage at the moment for FURIA, and it's gone. Just like that. Black Ray with a well-placed nade knocks Rare out from down below. Oh, okay. That's a little awkward. Edson getting a bit scared as his teammate rotates back into Barbecue. Ends up accidentally knocking him out there. And an NS call comes in from Rare after the team kill. And Edson looking to try and penetrate the rest of these defenders as they try to work their way back. Okay.
Handy?
Handy's on cams, apparently.
Right?
So he's going to get caught right there. I am now calling that one out as another kill is picked up here. Just STK left in the fight in a 1v2, and he will not be able to maintain as Cyclops get the job done. The 5th round goes into their pocket instead of their opponents.
Less talky, more play, Furia. That was, kind of let that one go there. Cyclops claim the lead now in 3-2 fashion, and also one of the Furia members disconnecting as well. It was a rage quit, I'm sure, as we'll get them reconnected shortly and reconvene.
I'm going to get them back in as quickly as we can. We are mid-round, guys, so this should not require a rehost.
I'm sorry, that's just hilarious.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
He had the phone out, right?
Yeah, he literally
was okay, I was just making sure I was looking at that,
These
right?
kids and their damn cell phones, always playing
He shot
games.
it right through the phone.
Yeah. Got to get him off Clash of Clans, man. He's spending too much time on it nowadays.
He like realized his fate for like a split second when the bullet like crashed through the screen. He's like, oh no.
This guy's playing Rainbow Six Siege inside of Rainbow Six Siege.
Really it might be possible soon.
Yeah, it is going to be possible soon when Rainbow Six Mobile comes out. It should be a pretty good time.
Either way, we are in a technical pause, of course, guys, while we work on fixing whatever the issue is real quick. I think it might have just been a crash or something, so just working on rebooting that player, getting them back into the game, and then we will resume as normal. Like I said, we are in a pause. We are not rehosting, so this should only take a second or two just to get the player back into it. Final round of the half, though, so will we go the full distance and end up with a 3-3 dead heat tie, or will Cyclops be able to take a slight advantage after closing down that most recent round in their favor and taking it away from the 2-2 position it was just previously at? Operator lineups are being locked in already, so we can talk a little bit about that as we're going to be returning to the karaoke and tea room hold, which has already been selected by Furia here. We've got that 5th player back in, by the way, so should just be another second or two here before we are good to go. But it's going to be fun, assuming we don't get too many repicks from Cyclops here. We've got actually, I'll just let you guys see it when we get in the game.
You sound like you're trying to almost convince yourself. Yeah, you know what? It'll be fun. You know what? I think we're gonna have a good time. Guys.
Like Parker there.
Yeah, my Parker impression's getting better and better by the day. I'm telling you. Like I've had years with this guy now. Oh man. The dude there for a little bit, I kept finding myself like falling into some of his oh my gosh, my brain is fried for the day. His mannerisms and stuff, like commentating and things, and I literally had to stop myself. I was like, no, you cannot be Parker 2.0. Stop it. It's not allowed. There's enough Canadian in just that one man, and yet we still have Jesse, so.
Absolutely, folks. Can't wait to be joined by our analyst team as well here.
Yeah, we got them in today. We got Jesse in, we got Doa in. Some exciting stuff sure to come with those fools. Is going to have a good time with them over the weekend.
Absolutely the case. Look forward to talking
Don't have
to
to convince myself of that one either.
Up and seeing them on your screen here as we get into the playoff stage, starting from Friday and, of course, moving throughout the rest of the weekend. Sponsor complete. Cyclops is out for the final time, and you can see the operator lineup has now been locked in. We've got a Glaz. We actually have the Fuse that's been locked in there too, and then on top of that we still have the play here with the Gara hook that could come out from Gator as well. So a lot of interesting picks from Cyclops for the final round of their attacking side.
Yeah, also something to notate about Doa that I think you guys would find pretty interesting. If you guys go watch the T1 documentary that the FURIA Esports put out very recently, like 60% of the clips are Doa screaming, and it's really, really awesome. It's really, really cool. If you guys get an opportunity, you should definitely go back and watch it. But also, I might be wrong about this, just to put that out there, but I'm pretty sure Doa is also the voice of Faker just absolutely destroying his opponent on Zed. Faker, what was that? Just an amazing esports moment. So if you guys ever wanted to know exactly where Doa came from, you guys can go back and watch that. He was originally a StarCraft 2 commentator as well. But past that, some more fun, and we're going to be hopping in. So Rare here is we'll be able to take down Gator, and it's in as well. What a shot from him, playing in through the smoke, but that's only going to be an equal trade back and forth. The Nitro Cell out will deal some damage to him as the smoke smoke's about to dissipate.
See, Anatson, once again, keep in mind how the glass scope works now. It's not like it was a few years back where we were seeing him played in more, but we don't have to worry about that too much longer. Anyways, Fantasy knocks him out of the game. Anatson down for the count. Black Ray and Suzu, the only two left standing here now for the Cyclops roster as they try their hardest to secure the lead in the final round. But for FURIA, there's no time remaining here. STK and Fantasy burst back out, knock out those last two players, and lock in the dead heat tie. It is going to be a 3-3 scoreline here as the teams will switch sides.
I don't know if it's the fun aspect that is winning these people rounds. I don't know which, really how it's going back and forth in between these two, because these rounds are so sporadic. One team seems so very dominant and like they're doing some kind of memey things, but then the other team is also doing some things that are pretty fun and end up winning out the round in that fashion. That last one there for Cyclops was obviously pretty aggressive with the suppressed shotgun Amaru swinging in through karaoke, but at the end of the day, you got to have some fun with a match like this. We're going to have a tack timeout here as FURIA try and get some things figured out, readjust the headset so they can properly hear, and oh my.
Wait, so this is
they took the headset off so that he could talk to the team during the tactical pause.
Okay, I thought this was like a drifted with technical for a second. I thought he was testing something, but no, it's just he just wanted the mic. So that's one way to get it done, I guess. Thankfully, he's right next to him, so he should still be able to hear his coach as well. But it'll be fun there from FURIA as they're going to go for the pause into this one. Still looking to course correct on some things they're noticing in this game before they throw themselves back into the fray and try to close out on this final game of play for the tournament. Like we said, if you are just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, this game does not have any playoff contentions tied into it. This group has already been locked in. The other two teams that are not currently in this matchup, Liquid and XSET, are the two teams moving forward into our final bracket. As for Cyclops and FURIA, their elimination is already a certainty, so this game is mainly just for a slight boost to your prize pool and potentially your SI point gain as well. As we've seen, the rounds reflect that pretty well. But you don't want to ditch just yet. Keep in mind, we have the group draw coming up in our post-show, which is going to be happening after this game. So make sure you're sticking around for that.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun, and obviously, John and I would be taking this a little bit more seriously if the implications really meant all that much to the playoff stage. But as he had just mentioned, it really doesn't mean anything to the overarching story. So we're here for a good time, not a long time. But if it does happen to be a long time,
with the way these rounds are
yeah,
going
that's
back
what I
and
was going
forth.
to say. If it does happen to be a long time, I'm not really exactly going to hate it. So let's see what FURIA can possibly get done on their offense now, as we're going to be seeing this for the very first time. And initially we saw a very real lineup from FURIA. This one's still more or less the same, although Handy has brought Osa out. So Twister, I thought initially he was starting to have them take things more aggressively, and I was about to be like, Twister, no, this is not allowed. You can't do this. But, oh, Handy, that's so unfortunate. That's like one of those
Very
things
ironic
where
with his name, too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not very handy in that regard, was he? As unfortunately enough, he has to do the de-rappel of shame in order to get that camera back if he wants to try and apply it back into karaoke.
Might have had the second one in pocket, so there's a chance he could have stuck around and just threw that one back out, but we'll follow up with that a little bit later on in the round as FURIA still looking to make their initial entries here, and Suzu looking to smite them right back down to earth should they contest from that direction, but it's not going to be the case. Blackberry with the right timing on this peak, just not the right opponent, unfortunately. So there's going to be a big shield standing in his way, so not much, a whole lot he can do about that. And as well, looking at the defender side of utility, there are no nitros, so this is going to be actually a little dangerous to deal with Fantasy. They'll more likely to try and line up a flank or just 90-degree angle against him in order to really have a chance of knocking him out. But he's forcing the issue. We can see Black Ray just brute forcing his way past him. This is going to be so tough to pull off any bullets against him, and he's actually going to go down, potentially to some shots from his teammate there, but it'll be finished off. Fantasy now that he has him down.
Wow.
We will see another player from the FURIA roster ending up into a downstate here. Anatson knocking him out, and yet another one coming in from Anatson as well as he continues to hold from the inside of T-Room. A potential third looming in his future as he does have this player on rappel just outside of the karaoke room as well.
Now this is where things get complicated, especially now that it's a 2 versus 3. Anatson will make it a 2 versus 2 Fantasy. He's planning inside of karaoke, but is the cross held properly? Oh no! No move from Anatson as he shut down STK. It's a 3K for him on the round, and FURIA will claim the lead yet again.
FURIA taking the first of hopefully many on these attacking rounds. They look to secure things at the final game of the tournament for themselves. A 4-3 lead now going to be gifted to them. 3 more rounds is all they need to lock in this game and give themselves one final win to wave goodbye to the rest of the crowd with. As for Cyclops, they need to get themselves back into position quite quickly, and they're going to try and do so with a rerun of that same site. Back to the inside of Karaoke and Tea Room. We are going to see a very similar operator lineup come to bear as well. Attackers, we do have a fairly straightforward lineup for them also, but keep in mind, we still repick to come, so we don't want to talk too much about that just yet, as we could see things like the Montaigne get repicked in yet again once they realize that it is going to be a retry on the same site.
Yes, indeed. Some Prosmats out now as well, so Cyclops welcoming Furia to the party with open arms and maybe a few less ankles depending on how they swing into the building. It's going to be back into the tea room here to try and hopefully get a round over yet again on the Furia roster, but that last round pretty hard fought from Furia and making a very, very good promise on the Montaigne play, but this time around it won't be here. Fantasy instead shifting over to Yana, where he is rightfully able to do so, as he has time and time again proven to us that his mechanical ability is just truly incredible, especially when it comes to this exact operator, Twitch.
So it's Furia looks to really lock in their lead with what I believe would be the first more than one round lead we have had so far in this matchup. Other than that, I think it's been a complete teeter-totter with one round being won by each team back and forth for pretty much the whole game so far. Black Ray's position downstairs over here, and Barbecue is going to get spotted out very early on. He transitions it out to Sushi here and will potentially try to work his way up through the wood stairs to get himself on the second floor yet again. Aiger will be supporting that transition if he goes for it, but yeah, that'll allow him to fall back, and looks like Cyclops is going to be a little bit better for wear now, getting those players out of the hot spot.
Yes, indeed, and only 40 seconds off the clock. So plenty of time for Furia to work this map, but you could say the same for Cyclops. They got a lot of different spanners in the works at the current moment, and Black Ray will be the first one to work it out. And it's in, though, could potentially find something on house stairs. See, it does potentially have a kill, but oh no, the Furia member will skimper off instead. STK, he's got a nade out, and almost a kill there. Harada takes a little amount of damage, but if he missteps there, that could have been potentially the death. And STK, knowing his angle so very well, look at that.
And once again, continuing to maintain the interior presence over here by Terrorists now. Already some good impact made by players like Black Ray earlier on. It's come out surprisingly too, considering how easily Furia pushed them out of their initial positions. But as you can see, the defense is starting to crack a little bit here with a more recent series of kills. I say that, but Black Ray's being the hero right now. He picks up yet another exchange, this time against STK. Hansen will spot the intel rolling past him, but will not respond to it, as he is not a party to being spotted by that just yet. He'll work with Gatorada to block off all the access from the inside of Geisha here. Make sure that Furia don't get any more map control closer to the site.
Now, slow moving for Furia as they tried to find some extra info, but obviously none of it working out. Cyclops are just botting every Furia member that touches the inside of the building at the current moment. Handy now the last remaining member, as he has a frag grenade, will bounce in, is going to deal some decent damage to Gatorada, tries to claim the other life, and now he's just tagging up everybody. He's got plenty of time as well, so he can actually operate around this window here for an extended period of time before trying to rotate or swing in. More than likely ill-advised on the swing, but does have the potential to get some extra kills. Andy's going to back off the window, though. Obviously, no one able to really swing out of that window either. You can't just jump outside any longer as well. There's no longer a balcony over here, so makes things a little bit easier on the offense, not having to worry about every hop out like he used to. Oh, I think, oh, it was so close there. That bullet flew right over the top of Handy's head, but he still has an opportunity.
And he will continue to move forward, tries to track down the position of Anakin, but he's just far too strong in this round. The immediate response is there, and these teams continue to volley rounds back and forth against each other. No lead secure just yet for Furia, despite the new side to play on, and we will be back into another deadlock tie at 4-4. Still going to remain upstairs, though, for the hold on Cyclops. Now as they lock down tea room for themselves just on the other end of the building in the exhibition room.
Can't tell if I've just been locked inside of an infinite prison where I have to just continually cast Siege or not, but we're going to find out. You know, if we get to overtime and it's 7-7 and someone wins and the game doesn't end, then I know there's a problem. problem. So we'll
Oh, you didn't hear that we're doing a win by 2 now every game.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, just for this last game actually.
Yeah,
so
just changed it. right, like 30 seconds before this game started.
This is when I start to go into an immediate panic and start freaking out.
This is actually just a never-ending scrim.
Yeah, it's just a never-ending loop. That's what's happening.
It's a game of siege chicken. Whoever quits the server first is the real loser.
I've somehow broken all of the dimensions, and now I'm just stuck. I don't know how I've done this, but maybe Dr. Strange or somebody can help me out. But past that, Cyclops are going to be headed back over to Exhibition and Office. We'll see what they can possibly get done here as Suzuki is trying to set up his bulletproof inside of the wall. This is a pretty cheeky one. I always love it when they do set them up on reinforcements like this, because it makes it towards super difficult to get to the side panels of the BP, and that's exactly what you want. You got to shoot the motherboard in order to actually destroy that cam, unless you do want to explode it. Another thing that's really, really cool with that setup is if you add a laser gate over the top of it, it gets even more fun.
And it's going to be a little annoying here, the first minute or so, and potentially beyond that, to be completely honest with you here, as long as he has control over this balcony area, he can kind of just rush out and chill on the outside with relative impunity, meaning that FURIA are going to have to deal with that very annoying big red message in the middle of the screen here, as long as he's standing outside, and that may be the main part of what they're trying to pull off there. However, FURIA have a bit of a sneakier plan to deploy towards STK, as you already probably noticed, is on the Nook. It is already well on their way to sneaking into the building, reach the barbecue stairs fairly quickly, ready to make the ascent up top.
You want to hear something really funny? I'm not even joking. For the last 8 rounds, I have not been able to remember the word scarf. I was like, because he has that scarf on his head, and I was like, sweater material, and my brain literally could just not pull up scarf. I swear. But oh my! As I'm droning on about other things, FURIA's gonna hop too. I thought we had some more time. Apologies about that, folks. But 3 Cyclops members are dead. Make it 4. It's all down to Iagator.
The only player left standing here. It seems Cyclops will have a little bit more work to do if they're going to reattempt this site. The impact's out.
God.
He actually denied the
here.
plant too, and there was not a lot of time left on that. Less than a second remaining on the plant situation. This is going to make things a little bit dodgy here now for FURIA. But the good news is he didn't stick around to continuously deny the pickups. That player should have relocated now. However, Iagator is still going to be in position to fight this out. But STK with an ace nade here. We'll see it on the replay just to see where it banged from. Right off of the bed, right behind the last opponent there, shutting things down for FURIA as once again they take the lead, but only by that slight margin, still at 5-4.
Yes, indeed. And if history does indeed repeat itself, we're more than likely going to be on a 5-5 score line here pretty soon, as I promise you, I'm like making my own dimension of madness here at this point. It's pretty crazy. But either way, it's still been a lot of fun watching these two go back and forth on a map like Skyscraper, especially since you and I don't get to see it too often, Blue. So now FURIA attempting to push themselves up and onto the penultimate point here as they are on round 5, seeing what they could potentially muster now on the offensive side. We're going to have Ash in play as Rero pick that off of Miracle. Will be moving over to the Zofia and the Amaru, initially the thought for Fantasy, but now Thatcher working his way in.
Adding, of course, mention of play here for FURIA. One of those respect these setups so much, especially when it comes to things like free bracing on the walls. You're actually not going to get any of that type of denial from Cyclops regardless, so it's a pretty minor concern here for FURIA, more so making quick work of some of the other pieces of utility here they will have to work their way past, such as those pieces that will work their way in from Jaeger. And aside from that, a few other things too that can potentially be tripped up. Obviously, again, Wamai is going to be another one that can be found out here, as his disc will be quite cumbersome for FURIA trying to execute it with so many nades, and they have brought a whole lot of those. 4 frags, 2 smokes here. They're looking to go pretty heavy on the nades to get this execute rolling.
Absolutely. FURIA, I think they're just about at their wits' end of having fun. I think they just want to get the game over with at this point, but we'll have to see. Either way, though, CAG currently waiting out the windows, seeing if somebody's going to make a misstep, and they do. Black Ray going flying. We going soaring?
He's like, man, he was really quick. I don't know if I want to go for that.
Yeah, he might be gone already. I don't know. I don't
like
that.
I've been drone. I'm going to leave.
That sucks so bad. The Oasis of Shield already there, so he swings, sees the frame, but he can't kill him, John. It's bulletproof.
nothing to do about that. BlackRay just going to sit back, dodging around the clone, but oh my goodness, STK using the clone to mask the cook of the nade, throws it right through him and knocks out BlackRay. What a play from FURIA there. It's going to work out great for them and open up access to the sushi bar and barbecue areas.
Dangerously accurate with these frag grenades today. FURIA, rather, able to take down two members, or actually two members with those frag grenades, hitting them, but also two members in the round, make it 3. But finally, Cyclops has something to say. They'll take down Miracle. Gatorada attempting to fight back. STK down. Suzu will pick him up as well. Rare to bounce back, though, and now it's into the 1 versus 3. Wow.
It's not going to say that for very long either. Rare just waltzing his way right through this here. We'll see it on the kill replay. You guys unfortunately won't get to see that, but yeah, just making quick work of these final 2 kills, ripping his way through the remnants of that defensive lineup and giving things over to FURIA yet again. First time a team has had a more than 1 round lead inside of this game here, and it's going to be the only time.
Yeah, yes it will be, because either we make it to overtime or FURIA wins. Yep. So we'll have to find out. This is going to be the most extensive lead that we're going to see inside this entire game, unless FURIA wins. Obviously, that'll be ahead by 3. Yep. But that's about it. That's all you're going to get, and you better be happy with it. So now we'll have to see if FURIA can potentially end this game and move us on to the post show, where once again, guys, we're going to be doing the draw live here. So you better stick with Blue and I, otherwise we'll be just very pissed at you. I'm just going to tell you right now. You have to stay with us. You better have all of your snacks and everything already lined up, because as soon as we get back on the screen, we have to have all of you dedicated, vision and all, towards us, so we can figure out how this playoff stage is going to go.
Absolutely the case, folks. We're finding out which way the bracket will shape itself up here in just a little bit. So make sure you're sticking around to find out who will play who come Friday and how it will potentially shape the rest of our weekend as well. We've got 4 NA teams, 2 European ones, and 2 Latin American ones that have made it through the gauntlet here in the group stage and are now going to be earning a position in our playoffs. But who they will play, that is still yet to be seen. We'll be finding that out at some point here in the next 30 to 40 minutes, I would estimate. FURIA spawned out for yet another occasion on Skyscraper here. Oh man, yeah, this
there you go.
This game's really gone down the river at this point, hasn't it? STK, he's committed cardinal sin.
Well, it's going to get even worse if they do what could potentially... Oh, God damn it. I hate everything about this. This is disgusting.
This is cruel.
This is a war crime. That's what this is. This is against the Geneva Convention. Blackbeard upside down rappel, Osa shield in the window, Glass laying prone in a smoke, waiting for this shield to either be imploded or for somebody to peek, but nobody's... Oh my God,
if he hit
Fantasy. That was so very close. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm pretty sure if he doesn't have the triangle sight there, he actually wins that. That was so very close to his head.
Well, either way, things are going to go into a little bit of a lull now, because these initial setups from FURIA unfortunately don't yield results as entertaining as they are here. Still need to look for a better, more accurate way to get themselves into the building, and it's not going to be found with the play from Miracle. Suzu catches him. The Nook sneak is denied, and now it's going to go out to these utter balcony positions here to see if we can find a greater amount of entry success from FURIA. STK already lined up for his first play here, but it's actually going to be Rare to pick up the initial kill, opening up a path forward into Drum.
Rare's working his way in, AK-12 in hand as Fuse. Cluster charge going off to mask some of the sound as well, as he's still trying to work the terrace area. Suzu will try and claim a kill through Drum, but no one home at the current moment. Gatorada now trying to come inside of Geisha. He'll be droned out though, but fortunately enough, there's some new boxes on the table, so he won't instantaneously be murdered via the window that we currently see Handy occupying. Bouncing back and forth in between angles, has some ADSs here to be able to assist him as well. Waiting for the swing, but Handy's just too strong, especially with him playing from Mexico. That swing is going to work perfectly into his pocket as BlackRay will take down STK. It only stops a couple bullets nowadays for Blackbeard shield. That's why you don't see him nearly as often. Handy will fire back and take out another member, though.
Gator and Suzu, the last 2 left standing now with only about 30 seconds left to waste, so a very doable situation for the both of them, but unfortunately, they've already lost control of the other side of this site. T-Room, we are seeing the plant go down on the inside of that one. Suzu will attempt to reascend the stairs here, but it won't work out. FURIA shut it down at the bitter end of regulation and do extend this lead into a much safer position here. 7-4 is going to be the final score, and you can see they're very happy about it there. Pop it off as they get themselves at least one more win before things close down although unfortunately they still cannot change up their fate for the tournament. Commiseration still to Furia as well as Cyclops, as they will be going home following this game. Like we mentioned earlier, this group was locked in as of our last match. It is going to be XSET and Liquid pushing their way forward. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a short break. When we do come back, we're breaking this game down and giving you our post show, which will include the group draw.